And even so, accidents happen. It's never going to be 100%. So choosing a piece that you are very confident with is really important. I mean, however confident it is, as I said, it won't be 100%. But you also have to consider the space, the instrument, and whether you physically and technically can handle this and to actually project whatever your ideas is, whatever your interpretation and your imagination is. So choice of pieces is important. I was just saying this to an earlier group, but there's no such thing as a prize-winning piece. So if you choose the most difficult piece there is, if you look down the list, then if you know all the pieces, then if you look at the most difficult piece, that does not automatically win a prize. That does not automatically get a higher mark just because it's a difficult piece. Even some teachers have asked, don't you consider? Well, the thing is, we haven't set the pieces, so it's kind of a free-for-all. So you can choose something that you're comfortable with. Of course, if you are in Young Artists and you come out and play Baba Black Sheep, then it is very well played, everything is correct, but then there's nothing to show, correct? So you do also want to show off your ability. But if you choose something that is really difficult, and sometimes even though the notes are there, the emotions are not there, the maturity is not there. And sometimes things get so complicated and you can kind of get around it, but you lose sight of the big picture. We can't hear the shape or the direction, then that is not so convincing either. So it is a fine balance between choosing something that can show off your ability, something that you can convincingly communicate, as well as something that is challenging enough, as well as something that can remain in control. However nervous you are, however difficult the acoustics may be, and so on. So it is a lot of different consideration. And listening to everybody, everybody played well. Everything was intact, but sometimes some of the pieces were just a little bit beyond. Not so much as in the notes, because you can play all the notes, but sometimes because it's so complex and so on, the attention is so much on the notes that we don't hear what you are trying to say musically, and then that of course affects the assessment of it. Sometimes one or two of you played as if you're in an F1 race. The faster the better, the louder your engine the better. But we are not an F1 race. The fastest and the loudest very often is not the most convincing, because you have to consider the audience. You have to, in a sense, respect the audience and allow them time to breathe. I mean, occasionally there were some performances where we felt we couldn't breathe because it keeps on talking as if you're talking and you're not stopping, there's no comment, there's no full stop, there's no, you keep on going and going with so many words and all that, and in the end, do you know what I said? You don't know what I said? It's like that. I don't even know what I said. and that is not convincing, although it's very fast, and yes, your fingers are very nimble and you have a fast engine, but the message is not clear. So it is about projecting your ideas and so on in as clear a way as possible, putting in your own interpretation, your own imagination, but it must make sense to an audience. So if it's too fast, you might be able to understand what you are saying, but the audience can't, then it won't be a very convincing performance. Yeah? And yeah, some people have louder sounds, a bigger range of sound. Some people have too smaller sound, but again, the loudest is not always the bestest. It depends on the quality of the sound. It depends on what you are saying with the sound. If everything is just loud, then it also starts to become almost like just noise. We do want a message and not just white noise. So some of you might be slightly disappointed with some of the results because you might feel that you have played very impressively, but we always think about the music as a musician rather than as a technician, and thus there might be some surprises. But having said that, it is not an easy thing to just get up there and play something. I mean, if we ask one of the parents to get up there and play a simple do-re-mi tune, it will probably go wrong. There will be very uneven things and so on. So, a round of applause to everybody who worked so hard. parents, the supportive teachers who spend so much time working with all the finer details with you. So we do appreciate all the hours of practice. And hopefully you will also get something from the feedback we tell you. We wrote a lot of